live?
Good. I see meeting now streaming live on Facebook.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Suzette Jordan, and I'm the executive committeeman from Greenville County. Tonight in this informal meeting, we're going to hear from several members of the 4th District GOP about the importance of the upcoming 4th District Convention on April 27th. I'll also be joined in asking some questions by Alexa Newman, who is the executive committeeman from Spartanburg. Alexa?
Yes, thank you, Suzette. We are so happy to welcome all of you on tonight for our Unity Slate for the 4th District Delegate Zoom Town Hall. I think this is a first. So we're excited that you're a part of it, either by Facebook or by Zoom. So thanks for being with us. Suzette, I'll turn it back over to you for our first question tonight.
Okay, before we get started with the questions, I'd like to introduce our participants, and I'll just have them give their name and the position they hold in the party. So Nate?
I'm Nate Leupp. I'm the chairman of the Greenville County Republican Party.
All right, Curtis?
Yes, I'm Curtis Smith, and I'm the chairman of the Spartanburg County Republican Party.
And Linda?
This is Linda Garner, and I am the first vice chair of the Greenville County Republican Party.
Okay, thank you. We have several delegates and alternates that have never been to a 4th District convention. So I'd first of all like for you to just tell us about the district convention and what goes on there.
Well, the convention has two outcomes that have to be met. First thing they have to do is to elect national delegates to the Republican National Convention. There are only 3 of these delegates, so it's very important to choose the right people that can represent us on the stage. The second thing they have to do is to elect the leadership for the next 4 years. It's important to get leaders that will actually have events and do things with us over the next 4 years leading up to the 2024 election.
There is also a gentleman's agreement between the counties, Greenville and Spartanburg, that we rotate leadership from year to year. This past year, we had the chairman was from Spartanburg County, Beverly Owensby. And so then this year, it is Greenville's turn to have the chairman be elected from the Greenville County group. We are fortunate in that we just have 2 counties. There's some counties, some districts in our states that have 11 different districts, and that makes it very hard to get everybody together. So we do rotate this chair, and we like to be fair to both counties.
Okay, my turn. It hasn't been a delegate to, an alternate delegate to the National Convention. While it is a lot of fun, it really is long days and long nights, and it's work. So Nate, Curtis, and Linda, tell us why it's so important to elect strong delegates.
Nate,
I'll start off.
Okay, start off and then we'll get
the delegates. The delegates that we have to understand the rules of the South Carolina Republican Party and the National Party. They have to understand the platform. They have to understand procedures. There are going to be a lot of things happening, and you have to understand what's important to us in the 4th Congressional District and in Spartanburg and in South Carolina. So people have to understand rules, procedures, and the platform.
And I also think that the strongest delegates are those people who have been involved in all aspects of the party, in all the leadership positions in the party. I know we have people who volunteer for candidates, who work on candidate campaigns, who also volunteer for auxiliary groups. We have a group of women who are very active in the Republican women's groups. And we have our own conventions for that. The Republican National Convention is somewhat of a reward for those who seem to have worked very, very hard in the party and have become very involved and understand the day-to-day operation of the party. And so we need delegates who really understand that and who are very capable of speaking and representing the party well.
I think we've lost Nate.
I think we lost Nate, yes.
Let me talk about two. We only have 3 delegates from the 4th Congressional District. Only 3 delegates and 3 alternates. The state has 25 delegates and 25 alternates. So the representation from our 2 counties actually is 3 local leaders that we can actually put this in here. That's why it's important to elect strong leaders from our local community here, Greenville and Spartanburg, to represent us, the 4th Congressional District.
Well, both Greenville and Spartanburg have people who've worked for decades in the party at all levels, like Linda described. Curtis, why is the Unity Slate deserving to serve as national delegates to Charlotte?
Well, there have been a lot of chairmen and people in the past who have actually worked and done great things for the party. However, they were elected delegates and they went on to serve and do things in their time. Today, we have a few of us who are carrying a lot of the workload. We're the ones who are out raising money. We're the ones that are putting together events and doing things with the party. We're the ones doing the grassroots organization. You know, we're the ones that on the day-to-day basis answer the phones and do things. I know there are a lot of people out there who actually have participated. They might work for a club. They might work in a campaign. They might have one issue that they actually work with or do. But here, we, the leadership, actually work together to organize precincts, to actually educate people, who actually bring our elected officials in front of the voters so they can ask questions. We're the ones that do the day-to-day work, and we're the ones that want to be participants in the national convention so that we can help set the rules and platform going forward. That's why it's important. Okay, Linda?
Oh, I would also like to add to that, Curtis, that there are many people who are very active in the party, as I've said before. And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a lot of people who are going to say, will you vote for me? And we understand that. And what I do and what I think each of us should do is to look very candidly at those people who are requesting your vote. Check to see what they've actually done. Have they actually been involved in the party? And what have they done? And with those criteria in front of you, I think it would be much easier to make a decision as to who you feel like would better represent you. And in speaking for Nate, since he's not on the call, I'd like to add that I know from the past experience at the Ohio convention and the one we went to in Florida that many times the chairperson was interviewed by numerous newspapers and radio stations. And as all of us on this call know, we have to be extremely careful about what we say. We have to be sure that we have the facts in front of us before we represent the county and our party. So those are other things we need to take into consideration too. We need to be careful that we are a good representation for our area. So those are just a few of the reasons. There are many people who are very deserving. And so I would ask that you would just weigh all of these issues and look at the slate and the experience of the slate and see if that would be convincing to you.
Linda, have you ever served as a delegate to a national convention?
I have never been a delegate, but I have been an alternate. The first year I went to the convention, I was a guest, and actually it's a wonderful experience. And a lot of people who go just as a guest and never run for delegates. So that is an opportunity that's available. But as an alternate, I will say that the delegates that we elected to go were very kind to the alternates. We always got to get on the floor, and that's an exciting thing to do. And so there again, that's another quality. I think if you elect someone to be a delegate, be sure that that person is someone that would share that position with you and allow you to experience part of the convention while you're there.
What about you, Curtis?
I have not been to a national. I've been to several state conventions, whether it be Indiana or Maryland or South Carolina, but I have not been to a national convention. And I know that we have a lot of deserving people out here who have done some things, but there are only 3 slots in the 4th Congressional District. And I always ask the question, if there is someone in Spartanburg County that is out here working harder, raising more money, doing more organization in the precincts, getting out the vote, doing all these things, then I think they should be running and have as equal chance as I. But that person who says they want to run, you have to ask the question, am I doing more work? Is Curtis capable of representing us on a national scene? I mean, I was interviewed by the Hong Kong newspapers, the Hong Kong Times here a few months ago. You're going to be interviewed by a lot of people, and you have to be able to understand what they're talking about, what their angle is. We have a lot of fake news people out here who will want to talk about our primary, and you have to be able to understand all the rules and all the reasons why we did that.
Is Nate here?
I am kind of here. I think my computer crashed.
Okay.
What a great time.
Nate, do you want to tell about the importance of this unity slate and why you 3 are deserving to go to the national convention?
I missed the last couple minutes, so I'm not sure that what was already said, but I want to make sure that I stress that no one is entitled to be a national delegate. Across the state, there's really only 3 people who are automatic national delegates. The rest, we just have to run, and we have to give our credentials, and we have to share with the people who will be voting why we are worthy. And so we need to make the case to the delegates. I heard the very end of Curtis, that Curtis said that you have to be a good spokesman of the party. You have to be someone who knows the ins and outs. Quick story about the last national convention. It was like I couldn't go out of the hotel room without someone coming and asking me a question. And we all know what the national media is like. They want gotcha questions. So we not only need people who know the in and outs of our rules, of our platform, but also people that can answer and represent us on the national level.
Okay, I'm going to ask each of you to give your best elevator speech to why you should be a delegate to Charlotte. Linda?
Okay, thanks for that question, Suzette. I would like to think that over all the years, and I've been involved probably about 17 years, that I have earned the respect and the trust of a lot of people in my area here. I've worked very hard for the party. As most of you know, I am a money person, and I have kept the books for the party for 5 chairpersons. So I feel like I've had a lot of really good leadership qualities expressed to me from all the different chairmen that I've worked under. I'm presently vice chair, as I said. I have served as vice president, many other positions as vice president. I'm executive committeeman from my Timberlake area. I've served on some state committees. I am in the Federation. I've worked there in different positions. And actually I guess if I think about one thing that really sticks out is I had to go to court and help defend Greenville County when we had that election debacle. And that's not a fun thing to do, but you learn from each experience, and we learned a lot from that lawsuit that was filed against us. But as we've said before, there are many people who are very deserving, but I would humbly ask that you could take into consideration all the work that I've done over the years and see if that is deserving of your vote. And I would appreciate it if you would consider it. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, thank you. Curtis, give us your elevator speech.
All right. I've been involved in the Republican Party since 1964. And in 1999, I was elected president of my precinct, Gable Middle School. I've led the Spartanburg County Republican Party for the last 2 years. During this time, I have rebuilt the website, social media programs, our campaign office, and precinct organizations. I've organized events that brought elected officials in front of the voters. It is my belief that we should ask questions of our elected officials often and not wait until an election. I have promoted Greenville and Spartanburg joint events like the Washington Night and Meet the Candidates. I have organized 2 bronze elephant dinners where every one of the elected officials from the state, our congressmen, and our county officials participated. I organized events like election night watches, festivals, and holiday events to build the party. I have raised thousands of dollars for our party growth. And I worked on the 2018 campaign cycle from registration to organizing poll watchers to go to every one of our polls. I have certified the Republican candidates to help them get elected in the last 2 election cycles. I'm asking for your vote to represent the Trump supporters here in the 4th Congressional District so we can keep improving Spartanburg County, the 4th Congressional District, and the state of South Carolina.
Okay, thank you. Nate?
I'm here if you can hear me. A couple weeks ago, I had someone message me and say, I would like to be a national delegate. What is it? And it kind of took me back for a minute. And I thought, you know, there's so much more to being a national delegate. And a lot of people just don't know because we haven't done a great job of informing people. And I believe that the national delegate should be someone who can represent our party well with the media, someone who knows the rules, regulations, the platform. It's not just a party to go up there. People like LaDonna and Randy Page, they go up there, they work hard either on our rules or our platform. It's serious business if there is anything that needs to be voted on. You have to understand what's going on, or you're not going to have a vote worthy of casting. So that's one aspect of it, being knowledgeable of the party. But when it really comes down to it, it's who's doing the work of the party. There's a lot of people who work hard for candidates. There's a lot of people who work hard for clubs. But there's a special class of people that work hard for the Republican Party. The county parties of Spartanburg and Greenville, we are the Republican Party, and this is our national convention. And that's why I think the argument that I want to make is working hard for the party is where I feel that I can petition for your vote. Again, this is not something that anyone is really entitled to, that I'm on the same level field as any delegate to the state, and being able to run, I need to campaign and petition you for your vote based on saying that people like Linda and Curtis and many others that will run at the state are the best suited to represent us on the national level.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Nate, you're running for chairman of the 4th Congressional District. So tell us why you would be a good chair.
I think I do well as the 4th District chair based on, for anyone who has seen what's happened in Greenville the last few years. I like politics. I like event. I like organization. Someone came, a U.S. congressman's son, good friend of Jim DeMint, came to a Greenville meeting. He asked to drive to Tennessee to speak. And when he came, he said, I thought you said this was your meeting. I didn't know it was going to be your convention. And I said, well, it is our meeting. We basically make mini conventions. We decorate, we have music, we try to make it fun. And we've grown from when I started in the Greenville GOP, we had about 90, maybe on a good night, 110. We pushed 225 up to 300 at our meetings now. It's also good to have someone who's knowledgeable. I'm a rules guy. People call me the rules chairman. Sometimes it's meant to be derogatory. Sometimes it's meant to be a little flattering. I'm kind of weird like that. I like rules. And I think over the last 4 years, the 4th District hasn't had a single event. I want to change that. I know Robert Riggs is running for vice chair. we want to have some events to make the 4th district stronger. Greenville leads, Spartanburg is right there alongside of us. So I'm happy to run for 4th district chair with Robert being the vice chair. And I ask you for your vote for that as well.
Okay. Curtis,
Okay.
Nate, Linda, the 3 of you are running for delegates for the 4th District Unity Slate. Can you announce the rest of the 4th District Unity Slate?
I think
Yes.
we're going to hold off on that and
Okay.
kind of work that out. I was cut out, so I couldn't really announce how much Curtis, for the Spartanburg people on here, Curtis has really gone to bat for you guys. And he said, look, if Greenville has 2 people running for the delegate spot on a slate and 1 Spartanburg, how about we switch it? And so we're working through all that. We think we have that ready to announce in the next few days.
Okay, as we finish up tonight, because of the COVID-19 virus, this convention is going to be different from any convention we've ever had. So Nate, why don't you and Curtis walk us through what will happen at the convention and what the delegates need to do to participate on April 7th. And Curtis, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm also have the 5th congressional district Thursday night, and we've been working on it. So I have like a test run before the 4th. What happens is everyone needs to go on Eventbrite. All the delegates and alternates need to go on Eventbrite and register so that the credentials committee, which is Nate and I, can go through and make sure that the email address matches the person who is actually the delegate. Then on the 27th, which is the date that our convention is supposed to be, you will be sent a email that has a link to go to a ballot. And between 6 and 8 o'clock on that evening, you will go to the email, click on the link, and there will be a ballot for you to cast your votes for our 3, where you put 6 votes down, delegates and alternates, and then to vote for the leadership. Then it will be sent to the state, and the state will actually do the calculation as to who won.
Yeah, the important thing that Curtis mentioned is, unlike other years, I talked to a party leader that has been involved for decades, and he's used to the normal process. If you want to vote, he's a state delegate. He shows up on the night of the convention and he gets to vote. This year, because of the virus, they're doing it differently. You need to register, as Curtis said, and then a few days prior to the convention, we will meet as a credentials committee. I believe it's all the officers of the 4th district.
Right.
And that's when we will say, okay, we haven't heard from these 7 delegates from Greenville. Let's take the 7 next alternates that did register, and we'll do a credentials committee, and we will establish who will be the voting delegates that night. And it's also important that once you register, they're going to send you the information about how to vote that night. It'll be online voting. It'll be for a period of time. And we want Spartanburg's votes to count. We want Greenville's votes to count. And unlike past years, I think there's been a little tension between Greenville and Spartanburg, where at times Greenville said, hey, we have 67 delegates. They only have 47. Let's do a clean sweep and not even let any Spartanburg people on. I remember that probably only 10 years ago being talked about. Curtis has really fought for Spartanburg, and I think it's only fair. I'm running as the chairman, and I want to make the point that I'm not running to be the chairman of Greenville again. I'm already that. My term will be expiring. I'm running to be the chairman of the 4th district, and that includes the entire district. And so we want to make sure that all the delegates and alternates understand the process. They can email Curtis. My email is chairman@greenvillegop.com, and we'll do the best to inform you. And of course, tonight we made this more of a campaign event. But we thought it was important, as people are watching and tuning in, that they get some information about the login, because we can't campaign to you if you're not registered to vote.
Okay, Nate, I have 2 short questions before we end. First of all, what is the price for registering? And second, if someone cannot find that email from the SCGOP, what do they need to do?
Well, the price, Curtis and I talked about this many times. We felt in the past it was kind of awkward to call a person and say, would you give up a few hours of your night and pay to come vote for people. And I knew I was already running for chairman, and as well as most people that want to be delegates. There's zero price. The county parties were going to cover it. And then we decided to make the national delegate fee. If you want to be a national delegate, there is a $100 ballot fee. And in light of the situation, it's actually a blessing that we decided to do that, because the SCGOP is incurring quite a cost and making the system happen. And we had already planned on taking that money, that filing fee, and donating it to the SCGOP. So they are just using that to pay for the system. So that was kind of a blessing that we did not think of. If you don't have the information to log in, either watch for emails. We'll be sending those out. I send them out on my campaign emails. I know Curtis is sending them out. The SCGOP is sending them out. So you will get that link in the next few days, along with your phone calls if you haven't already. So just look for that link. And we want to make sure that everybody that wants to participate gets registered.
Any final words?
I look forward to everybody participating in the 4th Congressional District's convention on April 27th.
I would just say,
Alright.
please go sign up before you forget it.
Curtis, we can, I'll call you and find out how to sign up and do whatever.
You got it. Thank you, Paul.
Well, great.
All
With
right.
that, I think I have a nice setup in a studio with a nice laptop that happened to crash. So I can't navigate the system like I normally can. I'm on my iPhone right now. So I'm glad that you guys could continue during that. So I wish we could take time for questions. We have the ability usually on a different screen to take questions. So unfortunately tonight, because I can't navigate that, we're going to have to end the meeting right here. And Suzette, is there anything else, or do you want me to go ahead and end the meeting?
Let's end the meeting.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, everybody, for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you.